So I'll just record it and I'll post it on the YMA Nation YouTube channel later. If you are just getting logged in, share the video. We are about to talk about knowledge is power, breaking habits. And the first thing I started off by telling you guys is everyone that was snowed in today, what did you achieve? If you were snowed in today, did you take advantage of that time to elevate yourself in some type of way? And I've been, since 2017, Change Your Life 2017, what have you done to change your life and improve yourself in the last year? I started the Change Your Life campaign a year ago. What have you done over the last year? And if you're thinking about it like, oh, what have I done? I ain't really done much. 2019, guess what? You're going to be in the same situation. You have to create a paradigm shift in your mentality. And it's not just a person coming online just telling you guys got to do this, guy. You're going to be in the same situation. You're going to be in the exact same situation because you're not moving. Everything moves. Everything moves. If you think of anything that progress, it moves. If you think about the earth, it moves. Think about water, it moves. Everything that has a long history, it moves. Nothing sits. A flower don't just sit. It don't just grow and to 1 inch out of the ground and just stop. Grass don't just grow up an inch and just stop. You have to consistently move and elevate yourself. So I just wanted to put that in your mind because tomorrow a lot of people will be out of work tomorrow. So I'm proactively getting you prepared. What are you going to do to put yourself in a better situation instead of sitting down watching TV all day or not doing things that could be productive to elevate your life? So breaking habits. We're going to talk about breaking habits and creating a paradigm shift in your life. How? So when you think like, oh, you know what, man, I'm the way I am right now, what am I going to do to change this? And a lot of people are stuck because they think of their upbringing, they think of their environment. How can I change this in the situation that I am? And I don't know anything else but this. So how do I change? So how do I break the habits of my current thinking and the mentality that I currently have? And going back to the roots, because this knowledge should be passed on to help those and from our children. They pass it on to their grandchildren. So when we think about the way we think, like the way that I think, the way that you think, like we were programmed from the time when you are born. And as you're aging, you are programmed. Everything is programmed into your mind. So everything that you think, everything that you consider as a thought, when you making right decisions, wrong decisions, like your mind was programmed to think and process things in a certain way. I'll give you an example. Just think of how the TV, even at an early age, with cartoons, and then you growing up and then you start to watch shows, but the way the media, the way TV, the way movies, stop me if I'm wrong, but it gives us the perception of certain things. And not racial, but I'm going to use it as an example. When you see on TV and you see a female talking and they're doing this, what do you think of? Right? Because you see it on TV and you say, oh, you know what? That's the environment that they think of when you see a black woman. They're talking, snapping their fingers like that. When we see the reality shows, the neck movement, right? Because they create that into our mind as a child. So when we grow up, what do? We only do what we're programmed to do. It's the same thing. If you tell a dog, you take a dog and as you're raising the dog, you point at something and say, sick 'em. And you show them how to attack it And as it grows and grows, that dog mind is programmed that when his master say he point and say sick him, that dog is going. That dog has been programmed to think that way. That's everything, a monkey, anything. So we are the exact same way as humans. We are programmed from the day we are born with your parents. It's the exact same thing. If you watch TV, the same exact example I was talking about a black woman. If you watch TV in the media and movies, when you see on movies and you see someone dancing, like, who is that? Like, you automatically think, oh, that's how Caucasians dance. There's a lot of white people that could dance good, but when you see it on TV and they're in the club, right? Because that's how they program us to think of that culture. And they program us to think of the black culture as slick talking, the girls popping their fingers in their neck like that, because that's what we see on TV. So that's what we grow up to think is right. Or we think of that as a reality. It's all programming. Even as you get older and you're in school, you're in high school, you're still being programmed. You're being programmed to think that grades is based on if I can remember something, I'm an excellent student. Because that's all it is. It's all memorization. Memorization is your grades. Your grades is based on memorization from the time when you're trying to learn your ABCs to the time when you're in 5th grade to 7th grade to 9th grade. It's all memorization. All it is you take a test. On the test it says, what is the capital of Florida? A, B, C, D. A, Atlanta. B, Columbia. C, Tuscan. D, Tallahassee. Man, I studied that. It's D, Tallahassee. Check. Next question. When did Christopher Columbus discover America? A, 1490. B, 1492. C, 1450. And D, 1499. It's 1492. Check. And that's 100. And we're programmed to think that memorization equals excellent grades. Now all we have to do is remember things and we'll do good in school. Will that carry you to be a successful person in the future? Memorization, will that carry you to be a successful person in the future? That will not determine if you will be a successful person in the future. Of course, what they lack to teach in school is the necessities of being successful and having a good life. Like, they should teach us workplace etiquette and behavior. They should teach us finances. They should teach us credit. Like, the things that once we graduate, whether we go to college or not, do you know how many people go to college, graduate with a degree, and don't work in their field? And all they have is that sheet of paper. They got that sheet of paper with their name, the little certificate on it. And I'm not saying college is not a good thing, because there's so much that you could learn from college also that you can apply to your everyday life and in your business and in your work field. But is it a necessity? What we should learn in school are the necessities to help us be successful. Like, we should know about credit. We should know the credit score. We should know everything about what's on a FICO scale. So the things that I do going to control my credit score. So when I get my very first car, I'm not paying 27% interest on that vehicle. But I don't know. So I'm just happy that I got approved for a car that's 10 years old and is going to give me car problems for 6 months after I own it. But I think that's normal because I've been programmed to think that way. I haven't been programmed to think that I'm 19 to 20 years old and I should be able to go into a car dealership, and based on my excellent credit, because my parents helped me to achieve excellent credit. I don't need a co-signer. I don't need a co-borrower. I could get my own credit in my own vehicle at my age with a 2.9% interest rate. And now I'm not throwing away money. I got a brand new car. I don't have car problems. My car's not smoking. I'm not on the side of the road. My tires are not bald like a month after driving the car. But we're not programmed to think that way. We don't understand credit. We don't understand finances. That's why when we get paid, we don't know how to do a budget. We don't know how to say, okay, I make X amount of dollars. I don't know what a gross is. I don't know what a net is. All I know is how to pay bills. And then I'm stuck again, waiting a week to get paid because I'm struggling. They're not teaching that. They should. But we're programmed to think that way. We're programmed, parents. You're programming your children too, so we can't point the fingers. Because it's even more important as a parent, the programming that you do to your child. You can't ever, I don't care where you're growing up at. I don't care where you are growing up at or where you grew up at, what area you in. You can only point the finger at your environment for so long and say, oh, this is the reason I made this decision. This is the reason I'm doing X, Y, or Z because of my environment and I have to do this. You don't have to. You are programmed to think that you have to. But that's why we have to create our own paradigm shift in our thinking and mentality. And we mold and we create the way life goes for us. So parents, when you think right now that whatever situation that you're in, I'll tell you, right now, I could take a Chinese father and a Chinese mother, and they could have a child. And as soon as that child is born, they hand that child over to me. And I could go somewhere and I could raise this child, and that child would not even know that they're Chinese. That child would think that they're black. And I could tell that child that you are African American. We just have different skin colors, skin tones. But that doesn't mean anything. I'm your father and you are African American. And if that child has no other interactions with anyone to tell them anything differently, that child will grow up thinking they're African American with slanted eyes. But they'll start to learn my grammar, the way I teach, the way I talk. And they'll start to implement that into their day-to-day life as they're growing up. Because it's all programming. It's all programming. Race is all programming. If you know your history, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's all programming from your race to skin color. It's all programming. If you was born and your parents told you that pigment was only created by like certain people in their genes, but we was all the same color, then everybody, if everyone taught the exact same thing, everyone would think the exact same thing. That, oh yeah, like, oh, that person over there, that white, oh yeah, like we're the same. And if everyone thought that there was only one color and that one color was called bring, and we created this whole new color in 2017, and we carried this for the next 100 years. You know, 100 years from now, there will be no such thing as skin color. It will only be one color called bring. And everyone will say the exact same thing. It's just knowledge, people. It's programming. So you have to learn to create your own shift in life. And if you're sitting back, just going day to day, and you're not doing things, if you're not educating yourself every day or doing things to help shift yourself into a forward movement, a upward movement, then look at yourself and understand why you're in the same situation that you were a year ago. If you go back, scroll, it'll probably take you a while, but scroll through my timeline. The same time last year when I was telling you guys, change your thinking, change your mind in 2017. Elevate yourself. Learn about credit. Do all these things. Learn about finances. Learn how to shift your finances and improve your situation. And what happened? I would say probably 80% of people that had the opportunity, they probably got their taxes and went out there and watched the same conversation that I'm having, guys. Watch 60 days from now and watch everyone, all your Facebook friends, just understand how they're programmed to think. When someone gets $5,000 and then just watch in August when they're complaining about hours at work and complaining about their finances and daycare and all these type of things. But 6 months previously, you just had $5,000. What did you do to change your situation, to change your paradigm and make it move in a direction for you? It's just a law of attraction. The way you think, the way you move, you force that energy to move in a direction that you're trying to move in. It's that simple. It's that simple. If you apply this every day, if you wake up and apply this step every day that I control my life, what am I going to do to control my own life? I can only tell myself something, but it has to be action behind it. So what am I going to do to control my own life and make my life move forward? So a year from now, I will be in a better situation than I was a year ago. What am I going to do to elevate myself? So a year from now, I will be in a better situation. 3 years from now, I will be in a better situation. 5 years from now, I could look back on my life and say, I'm glad I made that decision. How many of you could look back from 2017 in January and February of 2017 and say, you know what? I'm glad I made some decisions. And I'm not talking about you got you moved out of an apartment and you was paying $950 there and that apartment was a 1 bedroom, but now you're paying $1,100 at a 2 bedroom and you happy because it got tile flooring on it, but you're paying more money, but you're renting and you're paying someone else that rent. I'm not talking about thinking like that, people. See, that's programming. That's the mentality that we have to change, because as long as you're programmed, guess what's going to happen to your children? And guess what's going to happen to that next generation? They're going to be programmed the exact same way. That's why we educate people on credit. That's why we educate people on finances. That's why we do education. That's why I'm online right now to educate you. Shift your thinking. Shift your paradigm. It's all here every day. 30 days. 30 days. I challenge you for the next 30 days, set a goal tonight. And you say for the next 30 days, every day I'm going to do something to help move me forward towards that goal. Every day. 30 days out of your life of 60, 70, 80 years. Most of you guys have 50 years left, 60 years left. 30 days out of that. Do something that will shift your life in a forward motion instead of just doing the same thing. Getting up, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, going to work, coming home, cooking, watch TV, go to bed. Next day, same routine. The next day, same routine. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I don't mean start and stop. I don't mean, oh, you know what? I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I need to exercise. I got it. That don't mean you get excited off of a video and you start, and then 2 weeks from now, you right back into the same routine. Break that habit. Break that habit, people. So I hope you guys was able to absorb some information, absorb some knowledge, get energized about yourself. We got to create this paradigm shift, people. Remember, we here to break that programming. And everyone on right now has the ability to do it. 30 days. 30 days. If you move forward for 30 days, there's no way your life will not change. If for 30 days, if you make forward motion on a goal for 30 days, there's no way your life will not change. If you exercise 4 times a week for 30 days, that's 4 weeks. That's 16 times. If you exercise 16 times in this month, there's no way your life has not changed at the end of the month. It's that simple. So whatever your goals are, 30 days. Make those steps. 30 days. Let me check out some comments real quick before I log off. Oh, you guys are more than welcome. You guys are more than welcome. Miss Audrey, how you doing? Crystal, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate everyone for logging on. Oh, Alicia, could it not be regional in high school economics? I was taught financial life. That is good. That is good. That is good knowledge that, I don't know if it was a class, Alicia, but I could guarantee that what's being taught in high school and economics, do me a favor. I want you to pull up the number one reason of divorces in America. See, I like to go off facts. I like to go off facts and statistics because those don't lie. Pull up the number one reason of divorces in America. And its financial situation, its financial hardships is the number one reason for divorces in America is financial hardships. That's facts, people. That's facts. So, if people was more educated, not saying that they don't teach you economics. Economics, like, yeah, that's good. But financial literacy takes you way beyond economics. When you start to have a true understanding of inflation, I could just give you a paragraph on inflation and say, oh yeah, I want you to remember the definition of inflation. I could tell you something to remember the definition of it. That don't mean that you have a thorough understanding and can you apply that in your life 2 years later. That's the type of education that I'm talking about. And everything can't be taught in school. That's why we as people have to, on a day by day, continue to try to learn something new every day. So good point. I appreciate you dropping in a comment. And that's why you have a step up on a lot of people because of that knowledge. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. It should be taught in high school. That's exactly what I was saying. Boris say Spanish women too. Boris, you saying Spanish women snap their necks too? Oh man, oh, you better glad I don't have Victor on. See what his opinion was on that one. But yeah, I appreciate you guys logging in tonight. Knowledge is power, people. When you learn, you apply. Learn and apply. Break those habits. Tomorrow is a snow day for a lot of people. You'll be locked in. What are you going to do with your time? Stop making excuses and start making changes. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening.